Today, stretch Mario's dumb little face. Stretch it just like you used to. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. Party people in the house.
Which is correct. When the party people get out of the house, that's when you should worry.
It's important to keep party people contained for their safety and the safety of others. Nintendo has found yet another way to sell millennials back their youth, and this time, instead of a whole game, it's just the start screen from Mario 64. The new mobile app/handheld Switch game, Hello Mario, is available for nostalgic gamers in Japan to download, with a worldwide launch expected early next year. The app is essentially just the same floating Mario head you're familiar with from the oft-sped-run N64 game's opening screen. You can interact with Mario's big dumb face the same ways you did back then, when you would have been forgiven for assuming Bitcoin was what you picked up when the little on-screen plumber ran into the shiny pixels. But there's also a few other things to do in the app, like place stickers, tap a music block to make Mario sing, or pop bubbles. I'm going to beat this game so fast when it finally comes to North America. This game is for toddlers, which I guess makes sense, I suppose. But they also said that about Toca Band, and without honing my chops soloing the inside of a cat's mouth, I don't think I'd recognize my own artistic persona. If you feel gatekept by the age category recommended by the Nintendo Corporation, call the number below to join my class action lawsuit.
Another authority has entered the debate on whether Nintendo's new game key cards count as games. Japan's National Diet Library requires by law that a publisher must submit a copy of their work to the library, including video games. And much like the vast majority of gamers, the library does not want game key cards, with representatives stating that only physical media that contains the content itself can be preserved. Because obviously, otherwise it would be like a book publisher mailing in a 10-digit code to redeem for an ebook on Amazon.co.jp. Does Amazon do ebooks in Japan? Should this joke not have been Rakuten Kobo? Anyhow, we're getting distracted. We have explained before that selling someone a physical box containing a digital code isn't a new practice. Other manufacturers have been doing it for a long time, and Nintendo has also allowed variations on this kind of thing before. Remember, L.A. Noire came with half the game on the cartridge in 2017. I bring this up because I just don't want us to forget that it happened. And it's not a new story that publishers don't want to pay for the high cost of flash media, so naturally they're passing that cost, on to the consumer, which is why your video games start costing $100 way before GTA 6 is even going to get released. But back to the story at hand, the National Diet Library doesn't want empty boxes and isn't going to accept them as video games. But does this matter? Well, maybe. I'm sure that the soft pressure of seeing their titles excluded from a collection of cultural significance is going to make any publisher sit up and rethink how they conduct their business.
If you're a Destiny player, you doing okay there, buddy? No? Yeah. Bungie's been really earning its Bungo nickname and making a real mess of things recently, so much so that despite Sony's initial claims that Bungie would operate independently after its acquisition a few years ago, Sony CFO Lin Tao recently said that independence will be, quote, getting lighter, with the eventual goal of Bungie becoming an integrated part of PlayStation Studios. As part of that whole process, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons announced his departure from the company. You might recall Pete from coverage of Bungie's layoffs last year. He's the one who bought 20 classic cars while laying off 200 employees. So that might be okay, because someone's got to be at the top of making all these bad decisions, and it certainly isn't Bungie's art or narrative teams. Did you hear that fourth-dimensional dark matter puppeteers of the solar system, the Nine, might have orchestrated the JFK assassination with a graviton lance? Cinema. Anyway, if you've been following the drinking game of Bungie makes bad decision and players are upset, you're dead by now, because it's sort of impossible to run a live service this long without upsetting all of your fans. Most recently, their weekly update, formerly This Week at Bungie, or TWAB, but now This Week in Destiny, or TWID, was slippery, hot, inadequate turds, or shit. Without getting into the minutia, Bungie, in one breath, lamented that they agreed with players that leveling up with new gear was taking too long, longer than Bungie wanted, while at the same time reducing gear rewards for doing missions, thereby making it take even longer. They've already walked back some of the more egregious decisions announced in this particular TWID. And they should, because Bungie's in a precarious position. They've delayed their long-hyped and under-desired extraction shooter that somehow carries the Marathon name. They still haven't figured out an adequate way to introduce new players to the vast expanse of cyclical content Destiny offers. And they're in danger now of losing players to their own game, as the NetEase-developed mobile version, Destiny Rising, released today. And while it's an alternate timeline gacha game, it also features innovations that Bungie themselves have yet to conceive, like Energy Scythe, dual-wielding pistols, and Big Shotgun Goth GF.
Silksong September 4th release day is causing havoc among indie developers and publishers, with some taking steps to lessen the impact the surprise launch will have on the performance of their games. Because it seems Silksong is a big enough release to exert a gravitic influence over other games, pushing them aside in its wake. But is this the right twisted metaphor for our times? Surely a game as hotly anticipated as Silksong doesn't use metaphors. It is a metaphor. It isn't an indie black hole. It is a boss fight with only one move: death. Which is why so many devs and publishers are dodging it entirely by delaying their own games' releases. At the time of my last paying attention, 7 games have been delayed. Some by weeks in the case of Baby Steps, some by months in the case of Demon School, with publisher Usbrid saying this would allow devs time to implement new endings and minigames, an entirely valid and respectable strat, trading time and money for information and conceptual space. Nobody wants years of effort to get utterly stomped by a hotly anticipated competitor, so how long should one give a delay? Weeks or months might give gamers a chance to finish playing Silksong, but possibly there exists a small window where it is possible to capture the percentage of gamers who buy Silksong, and then, after running into their first bullshit jumping puzzle, who remember that they don't actually like platformers. Yes, it may be possible to parry Silksong. Wow. Apparently Hollow Knight doesn't have a parry mechanic. It really is Team Cherry's world, isn't it?
Should we have delayed CheckPoint until Silksong came out?
It's not even out yet, so delaying an episode of CheckPoint seems a little too proactive for us.
Yeah, but we could use this time to do other stuff.
Like replaying Hollow Knight?
Well, not just that.
Coming up, Cloud Imperium Games CEO Chris Roberts assures fans that the 2026 release of Star Citizen spin-off Squadron 42 is being timed to avoid conflict with GTA 6, which is a bit like delaying your YouTube essay to avoid opening weekend of the new Avengers film, but it's fun to pretend.
The real move would have been going, we're having to delay Squadron 42 because Silksong's coming out, so... we were going to release it in September, but now we're having to delay it.
That maybe seems even less believable.
It's cool. So I downloaded Destiny Rising because I'm curious, and it's free to play. There's gacha microtransactions because you unlock new heroes. I haven't encountered that yet. I don't actually know how it works.
You probably have to be about 3 hours in, and they really get their hooks into you before they start asking for money.
It did download 12 gigs.
Jesus, that's big.
Onto my phone, which gets very warm while running it.
Whoa.
But I do find
and
it funny.
And you have a burly phone.
Yeah. I do find it funny that all those things that I mentioned, the dual wielding, the scythe, and that character they're all that character. That's the character with the big purple void scythe and the dual wielding pistols. Both of which, to be fair, are things that I did look at in the trailer and go, well, why haven't they done that in Destiny?
I did have a big scythe.
Yeah. That's a cool weapon. That's a cool idea for a weapon. But yeah, I'm like, so far I've played like the introductory mission, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this sure does seem like an alternate time. It's like an alternate timeline Destiny thing where it's like all the broad strokes are the same, but the individual characters are different, right? Because they're just like, we're just going to do our own thing. And
we've got the setting, but we're going to do different things with it.
Yeah, and so like the first mission, I'm like, yeah, this feels like mobile Destiny, but I certainly haven't been keeping up with regular Destiny for all the reasons I mentioned. So, yeah,
you've been busy.
I've been busy, but also it has not had the same, shall we say, gravitic pull that Silksong seems to have on the industry.
Yeah.
I do think it's very funny.
7 games delayed after they're like, hey, our release date is September 4th. And people are like, nope.
Don't want the smoke.
I'll just move off. Like, I mean, but it's like, how are you going to get any media attention?
I love the idea also that Team Cherry is like, what? Why? Huh? What? We're releasing our game then. And people are like, whoop. And then they're like, oh, okay. Like, from that interview that we talked about previously, they're sort of like, they're not very online, which I think is great for them.
It's probably better for them.
Nelson wrote the story about the Hello Mario squishy-faced app.
Yeah, and you're like, what is Toka Band? And I'm like, oh, Toka. So Toka, if you're not familiar, if you haven't had a child since the advent of smartphones, Toka is like a digital game publisher that makes all sorts of like toddler distracting games, basically. Like, you know, when a kid is too young to go to a restaurant and like sit happily with like no distraction for like, you know, the length of a meal, you can give them the phone and then they do the fun, tappy, colorful things as like a fun thing to do. And then they're happily distracted. I have a bunch of those on my phone. You used to just be able to buy them, and then they're like, what about a subscription fee for all these different things? And I'm like, are you kidding me? I use this thing once a month. Yeah. When I go out for lunch, because like I tried not to be one of those people who handed my child a game until she could control the game herself. Yeah, well, now she's 9, and that game is Balatro. So yeah, Beej wrote the Nintendo Game Key Cards story. Yep, which... that was a very Beej diversion into like, is it Amazon or Rakuten? Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the thesis of like, no, the National Library does not want a functionally empty box. Yeah. No. Neither do gamers. This is for preservation, you goons. Yep. You got to give them something to preserve. I wrote the Destiny story, thanks to Foxmar and Sniper also for sort of being a sounding board for some of that. And being like, because there's so much. And I started writing it and I'm like, is any of this actually news? I feel like a lot of, now I am obviously not a Destiny player, but I do play a game that sort of is a live service game because I play Marvel Snap. Mm-hmm. And you buy like a pass, a $10 pass every month, and you get a free card and some stuff. And honestly, it's great if you don't want to put very much money into a game. But because, they are expecting a monthly outlay, people just love to complain about everything. Well, there's something about running a live service game that just means that you're just going to deal with anytime anything changes or doesn't change. People are mad. Yeah. They're like we've adjusted the payouts so that you get 58 instead of 56 fizz, but blorps have reduced from 9 to 8, and people are like, this is a disaster. I will never financially recover from this. Economy. How dare you? I don't care about fizz. Do you even play this game? Yeah, do you understand how this works? Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter that there's been a vocal minority of the player base demanding a rebalance to the fizz blorp economy because it is also busted, right? There is you cannot please everyone, and it's really magnified with live service games, I think. Yeah, and so over the past several months, there's been a lot of stuff from Destiny of they've changed this and people are upset, and they've changed this and people are upset, and it's sort of I was going through all that and I'm like, none of this matters to anybody who doesn't play Destiny, and if I try to explain it, it'll just be like wah, 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 yeah wah, wah. All character classes except mine are overpowered and need to be rebalanced. Well, that's just factual. Mine is obviously underpowered, but only when I have it, so I personally need a special item that boosts my damage output by 10%. But that would fix the game. I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I main Titan, so I think I'm doing fine. I'm pretty sure it's hunters that are either overpowered or underpowered, depending on the phases of the moon. But isn't that the offset? That sometimes they're great and sometimes they're shit? Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I went for a sort of a broad strokes thing there, that basically the Bungie, the threat of absorption into Sony is the most worrying thing for Bungie, and they need a win badly. So I hope they figure something out, because NetEase has just released a whole thing, and it seriously threatens to pull Destiny players away from Destiny to different Destiny, which is very silly. Blip. 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 Shoot, I was going to say something really dumb and funny, and now I'm
desperate to remember what it was. I was like, oh, this is a good joke. I'll save it till after Graham's done talking.
Was it about Destiny? Or was it about
Yeah, no, it was about Marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, about their hotly anticipated shooter.
Yeah.
You got a Marathon swag box.
I did, yeah.
This pallid complexion doesn't maintain itself. It is like all black, and it just says in like hot neon yellow font, "Escape will make me God." Of course, I do wear this to pick up Penelope. I get some looks.
It's a good hat.
It's a weird hat.
Yeah, it's inscrutable.
I would have to say, as far as like, I don't know about their game business, but their inscrutable hat business is mwah.
Yeah.
You're doing great, Bungie.
Hey, everybody. We really appreciate you watching and supporting us here at Loading Ready Run and allowing us to do all the things that we do. And you can do that by supporting our Patreon or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel or the store. Any way that you are able to support us financially. Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, Cameron wrote the Silksong story.
Yes. Good job, Cameron.
Okay, bye.
Of the new Avengers. I started saying movie, and then I said film, and then I was like, it doesn't matter. You could have said both, but I said Milm.
Milm or Foovie.
Foovie.
You'll love it. It's on Foovie.
Well, I don't have.
Check out this new show. It's on Milm.
Yeah. Well, I don't subscribe to Milm. Is it on Lobo?
It's on Barpo.
But it's on Blooped.
It's only on Hoopla.
Right.
That one might be real, though. Is that one real?
That one is real.
Yeah.
Oh, Cameron wrote the Silksong story.